INFJs, often recognized as one of the world's rarest personality types, are defined by their deep emotional and intellectual complexity. These individuals possess layers of empathy, idealism, and intuition, making them uniquely intricate. In this overview, we'll explore the three main layers that shape the depth of an INFJ: emotional, intellectual, and existential. Understanding these layers helps explain why INFJs are often perceived as unique and misunderstood by others. 1. The emotional layer, empathy and sensitivity. The emotional depth of an INFJ is one of their most defining characteristics. Known for their immense empathy and heightened sensitivity, INFJs don't just understand emotions, they feel them profoundly, often blurring the line between their own feelings and those of others. This intense emotional awareness makes them natural empaths, absorbing the emotions around them like a sponge. One of their greatest strengths is the ability to connect deeply with others' emotions. They can pick up on subtle cues, tone of voice, facial expressions, or body language, often knowing how someone feels even when they try to hide it. This emotional radar allows INFJs to offer comfort and advice with striking precision. Their empathy fosters deep and meaningful relationships. People tend to seek out INFJs for support because they feel genuinely understood by them. However, this sensitivity comes with challenges. INFJs can easily become overwhelmed by the intensity of the emotions they absorb, leading to emotional burnout, especially in environments filled with negativity. Despite their willingness to help others, INFJs are highly private when it comes to their own emotions. They often hesitate to share their vulnerabilities, leaving them feeling emotionally exhausted yet unsupported. This combination of giving so much without receiving in return can leave INFJs feeling misunderstood or isolated. To safeguard their emotional well-being, INFJs need to establish boundaries, a task that doesn't come easily. They may feel guilty or worry about appearing selfish, but setting limits is crucial for maintaining their emotional health. Without boundaries, INFJs risk losing themselves in others' emotions, leaving them drained and disconnected from their own needs. Moreover, they may internalize negative emotions they absorb, such as sadness or anxiety, which can manifest as stress or fatigue. Regular self-care practices like journaling or meditation are essential for recharging and staying connected to their own emotional center. Although deeply attuned to others' emotions, INFJs often struggle with expressing their own. They may suppress their feelings to avoid burdening others or fear being misunderstood. Over time, this can lead to frustration or resentment, as their emotional generosity is taken for granted. This emotional retreat can be misunderstood by others as aloofness, deepening their sense of being misinterpreted. INFJs crave deep, authentic emotional connections and are not interested in superficial relationships. They long for bonds where they can fully express themselves without having to explain their emotions constantly. When they find such connections, they are fiercely loyal and devoted. Ultimately, the emotional depth of an INFJ is both their greatest strength and biggest challenge. Their empathy allows them to connect and heal, but to maintain their well-being, they must balance this gift with self-care and boundaries. 2. The intellectual layer, insight and intuition. INFJs are not only emotionally deep but also intellectually profound, with sharp insights and powerful intuition. This intellectual layer shapes how they process the world, connect ideas, and understand complex situations. Often seen as visionaries or old souls, INFJs have a remarkable ability to see beyond the surface and grasp concepts that many others overlook. INFJs are highly perceptive, often understanding people and situations on a profound level. They can analyze problems, relationships, or events with clarity, seeing patterns and truths that others may miss. This insight allows them to predict outcomes and sense underlying motivations. Naturally reflective, INFJs spend a lot of time contemplating the world and themselves. They are deeply introspective, seeking to grow and evolve through self-awareness. This ability to connect seemingly unrelated ideas and form meaningful conclusions stems from their dominant cognitive function, introverted intuition, (INI), which acts as an internal guide, helping them navigate life with foresight and clarity. Their intuition allows them to just know things, often without being able to explain why. These moments of clarity may seem sudden but are the result of subconscious processing, where they piece together patterns and information over time. INFJs often describe their intuition as an inner voice or a knowing that they can't quite explain. This can manifest in additionally, INFJs may second-guess themselves when their intuition conflicts with the opinions or logic of others. While they deeply trust their intuitive insights, they can still be sensitive to external feedback, particularly when others dismiss or challenge their inner knowing. While their intellectual depth is a strength, it can also become overwhelming for INFJs. Because they are constantly analyzing and reflecting on their surroundings, INFJs can experience intellectual overload. This happens when they take in too much information or try to process too many ideas at once, leading to mental fatigue or anxiety. 3. The existential layer, purpose and idealism. At the core of an INFJ's being lies the existential layer, which drives their need to find meaning, purpose, and alignment in everything they do. For INFJs, life is more than just a series of events, it's a journey toward fulfilling a higher calling. This layer is where their idealism flourishes and where their deep inner desire to make a difference in the world takes root. While many people experience fleeting moments of existential questioning, INFJs often grapple with these issues continuously, as part of their identity. This existential depth sets them apart, compelling them to lead purpose-driven lives. For an INFJ, life without meaning is unbearable. Their need for purpose goes beyond career aspirations or personal milestones, they seek a deeper reason for existence. Many INFJs describe feeling a calling or an intrinsic pull toward contributing to the greater good, whether it's through helping people, creating art, or advocating for social change. They are highly principled individuals who need to see that their actions align with their inner values. This relentless search for purpose leads many INFJs to spiritual or philosophical pursuits, as they seek answers to the big questions: why am I here? What's my role in the world? How can I make a lasting impact? This layer is particularly challenging because, for INFJs, finding purpose isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing quest. Their sense of purpose may evolve over time, influenced by life experiences, inner growth, and shifting values. However, no matter how much it changes, their need to live authentically and with intention remains constant. The existential layer of an INFJ is heavily intertwined with idealism. INFJs often hold themselves, and the world, up to incredibly high standards. They envision how things should be, whether that's a perfect relationship, an ideal society, or a life filled with meaning. This idealism is what fuels their sense of purpose and motivates them to strive for a better world. However, this idealistic vision often clashes with reality. INFJs can become disillusioned when their lofty ideals aren't met, either by themselves, others, or society. Their desire for perfection in a flawed world leads to frustration, and they can feel deeply disappointed when life fails to live up to their expectations. This tension between idealism and reality can also create challenges in relationships. INFJs tend to see the potential in people and situations, which can lead them to invest in those who aren't capable of meeting their standards. They might stay in relationships or friendships longer than they should, hoping for growth or transformation that never comes. While their idealism pushes them toward personal growth and positive change, it can also become a source of pain when they are confronted with the imperfections of life. A unique challenge that arises from the INFJ's existential layer is existential loneliness. INFJs often feel disconnected from others because of their intense need for meaning and their deeply held ideals. They may find that their perspectives on life are not shared by those around them, which can make them feel misunderstood and isolated. This loneliness can be particularly acute when INFJs realize that others may not care as deeply about finding purpose or living according to higher ideals. They often crave deep, meaningful conversations about life, purpose, and philosophy, but they may struggle to find people who can engage with them at this level. INFJs often feel like they are on a different wavelength from others, which reinforces their sense of being misunderstood. This existential isolation can lead them to withdraw or retreat into themselves, feeling that they must walk their path alone. However, when they do find others who share their depth of thought, these connections are often profound and long-lasting. One of the most defining aspects of the INFJ's existential layer is their desire to make a positive impact on the world. INFJs are driven by a deep sense of responsibility to contribute to something bigger than themselves. Whether it's through activism, creative expression, or personal relationships, they want to leave a mark that reflects their inner values and beliefs. This desire to make a difference can manifest in many ways, depending on the INFJ's individual passions. Some INFJs are drawn to careers in counseling, teaching, or social work, where they can directly help others. Others may channel their desire for change into creative endeavors, using art, writing, or music to inspire and uplift. However, the pressure to make a meaningful impact can also weigh heavily on INFJs. They often struggle with the fear that they're not doing enough or that they're not living up to their potential. This sense of inadequacy can lead to burnout, especially if they feel like their efforts are going unrecognized or that the world isn't improving in the ways they had hoped. While the existential layer of an INFJ is deeply idealistic, it often clashes with the demands of everyday life. INFJs may find themselves torn between their desire to pursue their ideals and the practical realities of making a living or maintaining relationships. For example, they may feel unfulfilled in a job that doesn't align with their values but struggle to find a more meaningful alternative that also meets their financial needs. This internal conflict can lead to feelings of guilt or dissatisfaction. INFJs may feel like they're selling out if they compromise on their ideals, but they also recognize that they need to survive in a world that doesn't always prioritize meaning or purpose. Balancing these two forces, idealism and practicality, is a constant challenge for INFJs. This struggle often forces INFJs to make tough decisions about how they spend their time and energy. They may have to learn to prioritize certain aspects of their idealism while making peace with the fact that they can't change everything or live a perfectly aligned life. This process of compromise and acceptance is difficult but essential for their emotional and psychological well-being. For INFJs, relationships are not just social interactions, they are significant extensions of their identities and essential components of their life's purpose. With their inherent idealism and profound need for meaning, INFJs approach relationships with a unique perspective that seeks depth, authenticity, and a shared sense of purpose. This quest for meaningful connections can shape how they navigate both romantic partnerships and friendships, presenting both challenges and rewards. INFJs thrive in relationships that resonate with their values and ideals. They seek connections that go beyond surface-level interactions, craving discussions about life's mysteries, shared dreams, and deeper emotional experiences. This quest for meaning can lead them to form intense bonds with like-minded individuals who share their passion for personal growth and a desire to contribute positively to the world. In friendships, INFJs often gravitate toward those who understand their complexities and appreciate their emotional depth. They tend to foster relationships that encourage mutual growth, where both parties feel empowered to explore their ideas, feelings, and aspirations. An INFJ's friendships often resemble a supportive think tank, where philosophical debates and emotional support coexist. However, the INFJ's deep need for purpose-driven relationships can also create challenges. They may often feel misunderstood by others, especially those who prioritize more superficial or pragmatic aspects of life. INFJs may struggle to connect with individuals who seem indifferent to their quest for meaning or who fail to engage with their philosophical inquiries. This sense of isolation can lead to feelings of frustration, disappointment, and even resentment. INFJs may find themselves withdrawing from relationships that don't fulfill their emotional and existential needs. This withdrawal is often a protective mechanism, as they conserve their energy for those who truly understand them. In navigating purpose-driven relationships, INFJs emphasize mutual growth and understanding. They are often willing to invest time and energy into relationships that foster their personal development as well as that of their partners or friends. For INFJs, relationships are a two-way street. They not only seek support but also aspire to provide it. To maintain healthy relationships, INFJs must communicate their needs and expectations clearly. They often struggle with expressing their vulnerability, fearing that their partners may not grasp the depth of their feelings or aspirations. However, fostering open dialogue is crucial for their relationships to flourish. When INFJs voice their desires and boundaries, they pave the way for deeper understanding and connection. For INFJs in romantic relationships, the stakes are often higher. They desire partners who share their commitment to purpose and emotional growth. A compatible partner can be someone who appreciates the INFJ's complexity, respects their need for alone time, and engages in deep, meaningful conversations. INFJs often feel drawn to partners who exhibit emotional intelligence and authenticity. They seek relationships where both individuals can evolve together, supporting each other's dreams and aspirations. This desire for alignment can lead INFJs to invest in relationships that align with their values, even if it means being selective or cautious in their choices. However, the fear of being misunderstood or not meeting their partner's expectations can lead INFJs to self-sabotage in romantic relationships. They may struggle with perfectionism and hold themselves to impossibly high standards, which can lead to anxiety and insecurity. Learning to accept their imperfections and the imperfections of their partners can help INFJs cultivate healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Navigating purpose-driven relationships requires INFJs to balance their idealistic visions with the realities of human imperfection. INFJs must acknowledge that while they crave deep connections, not every relationship will align perfectly with their ideals. It's essential for them to practice acceptance and flexibility, recognizing that every relationship is a work in progress. This balance can be particularly challenging when INFJs face conflicts or challenges within relationships. They may feel tempted to withdraw when difficulties arise, but it's crucial for them to engage and communicate openly. Working through misunderstandings and conflicts can deepen connections and reinforce the bond. As INFJs navigate their journey toward meaningful relationships, they benefit from building a supportive community that shares their values and interests. This community can include friends, mentors, or even online support groups where INFJs can engage with others who understand their unique challenges and strengths. Finding individuals who resonate with their ideals can provide a sense of belonging and affirmation. These connections not only satisfy their need for emotional support but also inspire them to pursue their passions and aspirations without fear of judgment. Ultimately, purpose-driven relationships profoundly influence the lives of INFJs. These connections empower them to pursue their goals, deepen their self-awareness, and realize their potential. INFJs thrive when surrounded by individuals who support their quest for meaning and encourage them to embrace their unique perspectives. When INFJs successfully navigate their relationships, they become beacons of inspiration, fostering growth and positivity in their circles. By embracing vulnerability and openness, they can create profound connections that enhance their lives and the lives of those around them. Ultimately, the existential layer of an INFJ is both a gift and a burden. Their drive for purpose and idealism gives them a unique perspective on life, but it also leads to feelings of frustration, isolation, and existential loneliness. To thrive, INFJs must learn to balance their idealism with the practical demands of life and find peace in the fact that not everything will align perfectly with their vision of the world. This balance often comes with age and experience, as INFJs learn to accept the imperfections of both themselves and the world around them. By focusing on small, meaningful contributions rather than trying to change everything at once, they can find a sense of fulfillment without overwhelming themselves. For INFJs, the journey toward purpose and meaning is never-ending, but it is also deeply rewarding. When they can align their actions with their ideals and find peace in their own authenticity, they become powerful forces for change in both their own lives and the lives of others. The depth of an INFJ is not easily understood, as it is made up of emotional sensitivity, intellectual insight, and existential purpose. These layers combine to create a personality that is both complex and mysterious, often leaving others in awe of their depth but unsure of how to truly connect with them. INFJs must learn to balance these layers, protecting their emotional well-being while staying true to their intellectual curiosity and existential drive. By embracing their depth and understanding the unique layers that define them, INFJs can live more fulfilling lives and form deeper connections with those who appreciate and understand their complexity.